giving away the answers. I forgot to erase my board. Okay. We're going to talk about solutions to being so tired. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use purple because it's a royal color. And I think you all are royalty. So, oops. Okay. So this is the container that is your life. Okay. The container that is your life. And as we're going through life as a child, you know, we get filled up with stuff and things and stuff and things that was modeled to us as children. And so this also comes from, you know, we inherently, human beings struggle with a lack of worth. And so we fill ourselves up with external stuff and things. And this is also what's been modeled generationally. Okay. So we learned how to do this. We learned it. So you have, you know, being a good, and I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective because I are one. So, you know, you go, okay, well, you know, having a clean house is something that, you know, I should prioritize, and being in church is something that I should prioritize. Okay. And then being a good, you know, daughter is something that I should prioritize. And then being a wife and the PTO for the kids, and, you know, for military spouses, the FRG, the family support group or family readiness group. And then, you know, the garden club or, you know, or DAR, whatever, you know, your civic stuff. So I'm just going to put that here. So where's this? Okay. So this is your civic stuff. And then, you know, doing a good job at, you know, at work if you're working. And then you have, you know, you get filled up with all of these things that you're told should be important. And, you know, I can remember just being tired, just being so, you know, tired. And then you have, you know, all of this other stuff too that's in there. So I don't know if you've ever seen the demonstration where the professor there's a video, and the professor took the jar and he had the ping pong balls, and then he had gravel, and then he had sand, and then he had water. And if you put anything, if you tried to go backwards, all you could fit was water. And then if you put sand, you could fit sand and water. But you couldn't fit these two. And then if you filled it up with gravel first, you could still fit some sand in there and then still fit some water, but you couldn't fit any of these. But if you actually started here with your priorities, then you can fit gravel around it and sand and water. You can fit all of it. So what already looks like a full life with just this, you can fill it with these other things if you want to, but oftentimes this other stuff is just BS. And it doesn't positively impact your life in any way, shape, or form, truly. And so I can remember going through my life and having filled up, because as a child, we get filled up with all of this stuff and the things that were priorities to our moms, to our dads, to our teachers, to our grandparents, to the, you know, the people that raised us. And if that doesn't line up with who you authentically are, it's going to be exhausting. So what we have to do in our life is get to a point, and I just want to get to a point where we actually go through and we decide what's in here, which often means erasing it and starting for, which often means starting from scratch. And so I specifically remember trying to force myself to be, I didn't have any worth, and here I was publicly speaking and teaching and being an advocate for mental and emotional health. And I looked in the mirror and I hated myself. And I kept, and I was tight. I was getting tired, but, I took Adderall for what I thought was ADHD for a while. I took phentermine to force my body to lose weight. I took vitamin B12. I did all of the caffeine. I did all of the stuff and things. And I was getting up at 4:30 and going to bed at 11:30 and being sleep deprived and all of that until finally in 2014, after having elective mommy makeover cosmetic surgery to try to force my body to be perfect because I'll be happy then syndrome was there. And I remember laying there and I was like, when I talk about being tired, I would hold my pee. It was like having mono on steroids. It was, I would hold my pee because it was exhausting to get up and go to the bathroom. I would not shower or wash my hair until my head was so itchy from the grease and the stuff, that even dry shampoo wasn't. Oh, thinking about something, my head itch. And so I just finally got to the point where it's like all I could do was lay there and think. And I played Candy Crush, and for hours and hours and hours I would play, and I would drag myself out of bed to get the kids to school, and I'd go right back to bed, and I'd drag myself out of bed to go make dinner, and I was just tired. And I looked again outside of me because I kept, prior to this, I had just been doing all of the things that everyone else said that I should do. It was church, and this book said do this, and this course said do that, and this is how to be more efficient. This is how to be more effective, how to fit more in your day, how to be better with time management, how to be a better mom, how to be the woman of his dreams, how to be a better wife, how to be a better, all of this stuff and all of the things. And it was just like, okay, so I finally had to look and go, okay, how is it that I actually want to feel? And you know how scary that was? I can remember being terrified, going, how am I going to know what the right, because I was so worried about the right answers, again, because of the lack of worth. And I just had this mulling around in the background for like a really long time. And finally, it started to hit me that I needed to prioritize feeling good. And so at the time, I was super, super broke and didn't have any energy. And so so I did the 90-day orgasm challenge because sex was a free way, self-sex with self. So masturbation was a free way to feel good. Free way to feel good. And what I didn't know, and I later learned because I reverse researched it, was this decision here to know my worth and choose my priorities, and then me deciding on this, the orgasm and the stuff that happens in your body with orgasm was physically healing, emotionally and spiritually healing as well, because it's a release. There's a lot of stuff that was let go of in the process. And so it started here. And then I started prioritizing fun because I realized that I had the belief that life was really hard and that it was irresponsible to play. It was irresponsible to have fun, that wasn't, my role, that I had to, play penance. And then as a natural result of feeling fun, happy became a priority. And what's crazy is I had no idea what happy was for me back then. Like I can remember like trying different things here and being like, okay, I don't think that's fun. I don't really think that's fun, but I had to do it by a process of elimination. The same thing with happy. And then in the process of this, it was naturally happening that I was healing. And so health became a priority as well. And so I started actually going, okay, well, I'm going to learn what foods I can eat. And so health became a priority. And then from there, I wanted to start doing like really meaningful work. And so fulfillment became a priority. And then, love became a priority. Whoops. And wealth became a priority, because as I started building all of these, adding these different things in here, I started realizing my own worth. And then being empowered, limitlessly uninhibited, is one of my core desired feelings. And that's because I'm empowered to make these choices. I'm empowered to choose. So that, that was there. And then easy was another priority, grace and ease, because up until then I'd felt really, like life had to be hard and it was noble to struggle and stuff like that. And before I knew it, I had filled my life up with stuff. And like all of this other stuff began not being a priority, taking care of itself. It either became not a priority, or I delegated it, I automated it, I eliminated it. Again, not a priority is eliminating. And then because of this empowerment, I had, you always want to stay open to growth or whatever. So I had a filter that was kind of like a really tight screen. So, like whenever you, I don't know if you know this, but whenever people do like panning for gold or whatever, they have a sifter and it goes down through various levels until this is the finest one down here. And so my screen was more like down here. So like all of this other kind of stuff that didn't fit through my filter wouldn't go in there, but I'd still have a very full life. I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm healthier than I've ever been. The weight is like, I still have weight that I, want to lose, and it's going away on its own because it's the pounds of pain, right? It's pounds of lessons from the past, stuff that we need to allow to work their natural course, because our pain is a gift. Our pain is a present if we stay present with it. It's a gift if we stay present with it and feel all the way through it and then learn the lessons, because it was through the crazy amount of pain and the exhaustion that I was in that I was able to have this realization. And so I shared this with you to go, it's time. It's time to look and not focus on what's already filling up your jar, but instead to look at going, okay, I'm empowering myself to choose what I want in my jar, how I want to feel. And then everything else works itself out in the process. So I hope this makes sense for you and your energy comes back and you just feel better. And then you're living in a flow state that's really super, super awesome. So I hope this helps you. May this help you if you actually apply it. But that's the other thing that I'm going to say is you can consume information. You can listen to teacher after teacher. You can read book after book, take course after course, go to seminar after seminar, sit with a counselor after counselor. But until you actually take time to do the work and make these decisions for yourself, ain't nothing going to change, pumpkin. Just set the intention and then start taking the next logical step. So I love you. I hope you're having a great day. Make today miraculous. And here is to your happiness, health, wealth, and fulfillment.